Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. So let's start in the middle of the head, in between the eyes, and draw a straight line down the middle. From here we're going to draw an upside down V, so taking that point and angling down from left to right. Now we're going to split off towards the eyes. So on this side on the right, I'm just going to draw a slight curve that goes up to the right. And then on the left, I want to make sure that the distance from that point is the same on the right as it is on the left. So I'm just going to put my pen where I think it's going to stop and go in towards the center. So from here I'm going to draw the eyes. So just stepping in just a little bit on the left, I'm going to draw a curve going down and inwards on both sides. And from here I'm just going to draw a straight line across and tuck it in underneath that center line there. Let's draw the pupils. So on the top left side I'm going to draw a half circle and just color that in black. It doesn't have to be that big. And on the right, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, now from here, let's draw the sides of the brow line. So from this point, I'm just going to curve up above the eyes on both sides. From this point, I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. Just draw a little line going upwards on both sides, left and right. Now from here, let's draw in the bags under the eyes. So under this eye, I'm going to draw a line straight across and just a small little line angled upwards as we get towards the center of the head. So just like that. From here, let's draw the nose. So just below this upside down V, on the left side, I'm just going to draw a curve going out, coming down to a point in the center, and then just a small little line going up to the right side. Then we'll draw the mouth, and all I'm going to do is draw sort of like a downward curve underneath the nose. And below that, I'm going to draw a little slash across just to show the bottom of the lip. Now the chin is pretty sharp. It comes down to right about here, just below that lip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a reference point right here. Underneath this brow, I'm going to step over to the right a little bit and just draw an angled line going to where the jaw would be, which is probably in between the nose and the mouth. Again, stepping in on the right side, coming down at an angle. Then from here, I'm going to go in towards that point. Just round out the chin just a little bit. We'll go out towards the left side and the right side. Now from here, let's get into the head area. So he's got this big sort of head wrap around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an overlap on the left side here. Just go across with a slight bend, slight curve. Now I'm going to go up with a curve all the way to the top of his head, which would be probably right about here. So I'm going to just put my thumb right there. I'm going to start on the left side and go up to where my thumb would be. And then start to curve around and meet up with the right side there. Okay, so from here, I'm going to draw the wraps. So let's go over to the left side, right about here, and draw a curve going up towards the right. And then up here, I'm just going to continue that same angle on the top. Here, I'm going to do an overlap. So here, on the left side, I'm just going to bend this line down behind that main wrap. And I'll do the same on the right side. Now from here, all you want to do is draw a few little random lines going across on the left, and then a few on the right side as well. Now they don't have to match up or line up at all. And then up here, I'm just going to take this line area and just kind of draw some lines, just pull it up from that point. And then under here, I'm just going to draw a couple lines as well. So it gives it sort of like that wrapped look. Let's get into the ears. So right at this point where the brow meets that wrap, take this part and just pull out a line with a curve for the top of the right ear. And I want to do the same for the left. So I'm going to start at the top and come down, tuck that in. From this point, I want to get down to the bottom of the ear here. So what I'm going to do from this point is just curve a line down on both sides to the lobe. And from this point, I'm just going to bend and curve a line up. It's a very slight curve. From here, I'm going to draw the inner part of the ear. So drawing a line that goes up, leaving a gap here on both left and right sides. And then I'm going to pull in, do an overlap, and just pull a line down in an angle. Just like that. And then inside, I'm just going to draw what kind of looks like an S on the left, and then a backwards S on the right, just for the inner ear detail. Okay, let's get into the top part of the shoulders with the cloth. So he's got this big sort of wrapped cloth around the neck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an angled line right about here, just under the chin, kind of like that. Then here I'm going to do an overlap and draw another curved line on the side. And then from here, I'm going to draw another curved line, just so it looks like the fabric's being folded. From this point, I'm going to curve down. And up here at the point, I'm just going to wrap a line going outwards. Now this is where I work in the neck. So the neck is quite wide. So just under this lobe, I'll draw an angled line down here on the left and on the right. And if you want, you can draw a little bit of throat detail. So just pulling a couple of angled lines down. Now from here, I'm going to draw the first layer of the wrap. So on this side, right under the ear, I'm just going to draw a curve going down. I'll do the same thing on the right side. From here, it's just a series of overlaps. So from here, I'm just going to curve up, start around here, do an overlap, and then pull that back up again. Halfway through, I'll just pull a line out with a curve, and I'm just going to match this up with that line there. Let's draw the second layer. So here, I'm just going to draw a little angled line there, curve this in, curve this up. Now I'm going to do another overlap, and just bring that all the way up again. And again, you can see that I'm just overlapping and just doing layers of fabric around. So this one I'm going to keep open. I'll probably pull a line across this way. Let's do one more sort of overlap here of cloth. I'll just tuck that in like that. Now let's get into the shoulder areas. Now, see, he's got some really wide shoulders, but along the way, he's got these little bumps, kind of like wrinkles in the fabric. So from this point here, I want to go all the way up to the outer part of his shoulder. But along the way, I'm going to interrupt it with a couple bumps. So starting on the inside, I'll go out and draw a bump. Continue going out, draw one more bump, and then finally out to the point of the furthest point of the shoulder. Let's do the exact same thing on the right side. So I'll start up here and go out, draw a little hump there, go out, another hump, and then finally out to the furthest point of his shoulder. Now what you do with these things is you want to pull in just a little bit on the inside and then just curve a line down. And then take the outer point here and just curve down. So we'll do that again. So pulling in a little bit, so there's a little bit of overlap, and angling in. So you want to kind of angle in towards the center, and then the outer part, just curve that in. Let's do that again on the right side. So pulling in on the inside, and then on the outside. Pull in a little bit, pull in, and outside like that. Okay, so now from this point, this is going to come in towards the center of the body. But before I do this, because the arms sort of get overlapped behind the outside part of the shoulders. Now I'll explain what I mean by that. So here I'm just going to draw the inner part first. So let's start from the center. I'll curve up. From this point, I'll curve out. And then from this point, I'm just going to aim towards that corner, but leave a gap there. From this point, I'm going to curve out, and I'll go up. I'll do a little bit of an overlap here. And again, aiming towards that corner with a curve that goes downwards. So now this gets overlapped on top of the arms, and then these points get tucked underneath the arms. Okay, so let's get into the body first. So the hips come down to the waistline here. So what I'm going to do is start around, I'm just going to measure this out. So starting right about here, I'm just going to angle slightly outwards on both sides, and then curve these in towards the waist. From these 2 points, I'm going to connect it with an upward curve for the sash. And then from this point, I'm going to pull it down straight. And this point, I'm going to pull it down straight. And then connect that with a straight line across. And like I did with the wraps on top, I'm going to go in and just draw a couple lines that go across on both sides, just to show a little bit of wrinkle. You could do one in the center if you want, kind of like that. And then from here, because the fabric gets sort of pulled in towards the sash, you're going to see a bunch of wrinkles along here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some points along here and just start to pull them up and kind of curve them upwards. You can draw a couple coming down as well. And then from here, from the sash bottom, I'm going to draw the pants. So I'm not going to draw the whole body, but I'll just draw the top part of the pants. So from this point, I'm just going to curve out some lines for the hips. Probably make this one a little bit longer. Then from here, like I did on the top here, I'm going to pull a few wrinkle lines down. Again, sort of kind of spraying outwards. Kind of like that. And then from here in the middle, I could probably do kind of like a little loop. Okay, then from here, let's get into the arms. So I'm going to draw the shoulder parts first. So the shoulders will probably come into about here. So on this side, I'm just going to draw a curve coming down. I'll do an overlap. overlap coming to the outside, and then down. And then this point, I'm just going to curve this in underneath that top part of the shoulders. Now from here, what I can do is I can take that point and wrap that behind that arm. So I'm going to round up the tips and then pull that inside. So you can see why I did what I did. I drew the top part first, the arm, and then the back part last. Let's go to the other side and draw the other shoulder. So a curve here, draw a curve going out with an overlap, coming down, then across. Now taking this corner and pulling that behind that shoulder. Now let's get into the arms. So I'm going to start with the one on the left first. Let's draw the biceps. So I'm going to do an overlap here. So I'm going to come in a bit and draw the outside part of the bicep. And then the inner part will get sort of tucked in behind the body. So right about here, I'm going to start it comes in. So leaving a gap here where the elbow is. From this point, I'm going to do an overlap. So coming up a little bit and curving out to the outer part of the forearm. Coming in. And now I'm going to go all the way down to the wrist. So from this point, I'll just draw a straight line. From here on the inside, I'm going to draw a curve going to the wrist. I'm going to connect these 2 points with a curve. And then from this point right here, I'm just going to draw the same curve. So he's got some wristbands. And I'm going to draw a couple of rings, so a couple of lines going across that. Let's draw some of the arm details. So in the bicep area, what I want to do is I want to draw sort of like a half oval, sort of highlighting that bicep. Kind of like this. So coming down and getting tucked in behind. And I'm going to make that line twice as thick. So I'm going to go inside and just trace that inner part of the arm. So, and then because the curve of the arm goes this way, I'm going to draw a couple of lines that curve around the contour of that bicep. Let's do the same for this forearm. So here on this outside, I'm going to draw a curve, then making that twice as thick. And then again, just drawing a couple curves that follow the contour of the arm. And then on the inner part, I'm just going to draw a smaller one here. Just kind of like that. All right. Now let's get into the fist. So I'm going to have them in sort of a clenched fist position. So on the outside or inside here, I'm going to draw a line that goes out and comes straight down. I'm going to make this fist really simplified. So I'm going to draw the row of knuckles first. So I'm going to go up to a point and do almost like waves. Kind of coming out like that. And from this point, I'm just going to curve down to the knuckle line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just going to pull that in like that. So these are the knuckles. And from these inner parts, I'm just going to pull these lines down. Let's draw the thumb. So here I'm going to draw a curve that goes out, curves up to the knuckle of the thumb, and then goes straight across. And this gets tucked in underneath the fingers. And here, if you want, you could draw a line with a curve for the fingernail. Just draw a little line just to close that off. And then right in between here, I'm just going to draw a curve to show some of the meat of the hand there. Okay, so now let's get into the other side. So we're going to draw the exact same arm, just flipped over on this side. So starting on the outside of the bicep, we'll curve in towards the elbow. And on the inside here, I'm going to curve in. And again, coming down towards the wrist, I'm going to put my finger right here. So I'm going to draw the inner part first, just curving to the wrist. Then I'm going to do an overlap here, going out, curving inward, and then straight. Closing this off with the wristband like I did here, and then drawing 3 lines inside just to give it some detail. Let's get into the biceps. So like I did here, that half oval, start on the inside, work my way out. And then drawing it twice as thick, and then drawing some curves just to show the contour of that arm. Let's draw the outer part of the forearm first, so drawing that detail like this. Bring that in, and then the inner part here. Now if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video and get caught up and then start up again. And then so now the fist I'm going to draw again so that this is flipped over on this side. So let's draw the inner part first. So going out, straight line to the knuckles, and then doing the waves. So doing 1 point, 2, 3, and curving down to the knuckle line here, then drawing 1, 2, 3, 4 humps. And then just pulling those lines in. Make that a little bit longer. Then the thumb, from here just going out, curving to the knuckle, and straight across and curving that in behind the fingers, and then drawing that nail And here I'm just going to draw a curve just to close out the thumb. Last part is the cape. So I'm just going to show a little bit of the cape behind him. So this will probably come out this way. Let's draw a few lines, just kind of showing some wrinkles in the cape. This one will probably come this way. Drawing a few lines, like so. And I think that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please give us a like. Share this with your friends and your circles. We got a ton of characters in our anime playlist, so make sure you check that out. We have a lot more coming next week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.